Nobody expected this from Tiger Woods' son in just his second attempt at the US Open. But what Charlie Woods just did sent shockwaves through the golf world. It wasn't because he won or even qualified, it was because he faced down impossible expectations, the weight of a legendary last name, and the relentless glare of the spotlight, and walked away with something more powerful than a trophy, a message. From the start, Charlie's golf journey was anything but normal. Ever since he first teed it up beside his father at the PNC Championship, every swing, every step, every expression has been under the microscope. He wasn't just a kid playing golf, he was Tiger Woods' son, a title heavier than any golf bag. At just 11, he showed flashes of brilliance, drawing attention not for what he was doing, but for what it might mean. And now, that moment everyone's been waiting for may have finally arrived. At 16, Charlie walked into Wellington National for his second US Open qualifier, not just to chase a spot at Pinehurst, but to chase something deeper, validation. After years of grinding, training under Tiger's eye, and carrying the burden of a surname that changed golf forever, this was his test. Could he take the pressure that breaks most and turn it into something greater? What happened next didn't just change Charlie's story, it may have shifted the future of golf itself. Charlie Woods did something nobody saw coming. Fans and media had circled the date of his second US Open qualifier not because they expected him to win, but because they expected something, a meltdown, a breakout, a headline. What they got was a bit of all three and something more, a statement. This wasn't just a qualifier, it was a moment, and Charlie delivered it without saying a word. Under the brutal Florida heat at Wellington National, with pressure clinging to him like sweat, he shot a 3 over par 75. On paper, that might not sound like much until you realize the full story. In the cutthroat world of US Open qualifying, where veterans routinely unravel, a 75 from a 16-year-old amateur isn't a failure, it's a signal. He didn't make the cut, missed the next round by 7 shots, and didn't deliver any viral birdie streaks. But that was never the point. The real story was in how he played, composed, focused, and far more prepared than he was a year ago when nerves and inexperience got the best of him. This time he stood tall, held his ground, and proved that his game, not just his name, is starting to do the talking. When you consider that he outperformed dozens of older, more experienced players, some with professional tour credentials, it becomes clear this wasn't just another junior golfer taking a swing at greatness. This was the beginning of something real. A teenager walked into the lion's den and held his own, and in doing so, Charlie Woods forced the entire golf world to take him seriously. His round was a mix of quiet control and gritty resilience. The front nine was steady, with a string of pars that looked like something out of a pro's moving day. A bogey on the 7th could have shaken him, but he responded with poise, especially around the greens where his recovery game shined. The back nine had its challenges, a 2-putt bogey on a par 5 and a missed, short-range par putt, but what never wavered was his composure. He didn't crack, he looked like he belonged. And that quiet confidence might be his most powerful weapon yet. The twist, he didn't qualify. But this wasn't a failure, it was a warning shot. Because what Charlie showed wasn't collapse, it was arrival. One round doesn't define a career, but a round like this makes people start paying attention. And now, nobody's looking away. Fans came to Wellington National expecting either a teenage miracle or a dramatic implosion. What they got instead was something far more shocking. Calm focus, maturity. Charlie didn't make the cut. He didn't hole out a miracle bunker shot or post a red number. But what stunned everyone was how composed, how professional he looked. At just 16, in the shadow of a legend, with cameras tracking his every move, Charlie Woods didn't just show up. He showed he's here to stay. Charlie Woods faced pressure like a seasoned pro, and that composure, not a winning score, was what truly stunned the golf world. From his very first tee shot at Wellington National, there was a different energy about him. Calm, focused, mature, not flashy, not rattled, just ready. In a sport where presence often matters as much as performance, Charlie didn't just show up, he arrived. And that's what no one saw coming, because when your last name is Woods, every move is magnified, every mistake amplified, and grace, under pressure, becomes the real headline. He didn't qualify, but that didn't matter. What mattered was how he played, how he carried the weight of impossible expectations. Social media lit up afterward, not with disappointment, but with respect. Outlets like Golf Monthly praised his composure. Golf Magic called it a statement, and fans everywhere stopped asking can he qualify, and started saying, this kid is the real deal. For the first time, Charlie Woods wasn't just viewed as Tiger's son, he was seen as an athlete in his own right, carving a path on his own terms. In an era fueled by hype, what Charlie delivered was authenticity, and that's what truly shocked everyone. He didn't win, he didn't advance, but he proved something far more powerful, that maybe, just maybe, he's ready to take on the impossible. And now, all eyes are on what comes next. While many focused on Charlie Woods' 3 over par finish and his missed qualification for the US Open, something far more significant is starting to take shape, and fans, analysts, even skeptics are beginning to notice. What they're realizing could change the narrative entirely. On paper, this wasn't a breakout. He didn't qualify and finished 7 shots back, but in terms of growth, maturity, and trajectory, it may be the most pivotal step in Charlie's journey so far. At just 16, he's displaying qualities that most players twice his age struggle to master: poise, awareness, discipline, and emotional control. This wasn't about raw talent alone. It was about intentional progress. Compared to last year's attempt, where nerves clearly rattled him, this was a different player. Charlie looked sharper, more composed, and more strategic, thinking through every shot rather than just reacting. Golf Magic noted his growing course IQ, while The Spun praised his emotional maturity, highlighting that he's starting to reflect the Woods legacy in more than just name. And when you zoom out, the bigger picture becomes even clearer. Few golf prodigies cracked major qualifiers in their teens. Rory McIlroy didn't make his Open debut until 18. Jordan Spieth missed several US Open attempts. Even Tiger didn't arrive fully formed. What Charlie is doing, managing expectations, media, and elite-level competition at 16 isn't normal, it's rare. And in golf, rare is what makes history even. Tiger Woods himself wasn't qualifying for majors at 16 yet. Charlie is, already closer than most, and he's doing it under pressure that's tenfold heavier. That alone speaks volumes. Does this result hurt him? Not even close. If anything, it cements the idea that Charlie Woods isn't just hype, he's the foundation of something real. He's the embodiment of slow-burn development in a world obsessed with instant results. Under the scrutiny of cameras, comparisons, and a legacy that looms large, he's learning, growing, and adapting, all with incredible composure. And the most exciting part, he's only getting started. The real question isn't whether Charlie's the real deal, it's how long before the rest of the golf world realizes it. Because by the time they do, it might be too late to catch him. Now that the dust has settled at Wellington National, one thing is crystal clear. This wasn't the end, this was the beginning. A quiet, disciplined, laser-focused beginning that often signals something massive ahead. This isn't a setback, it's a stepping stone. And what Charlie just showed us is that this story isn't about one tournament, it's about a journey. More qualifiers are coming, more challenges, more chances to grow. And after this round, golf fans aren't just watching, they're invested. This wasn't a novelty appearance. It was a 16-year-old amateur proving he can carry the weight of the spotlight, the pressure, and the Woods name, and still hold his ground. With 2 US Open attempts behind him and clear improvement in year 2, Charlie is perfectly positioned to regroup, rebuild, and come back stronger. And the stronger he gets, the harder it will be to ignore him. The speculation has already begun. Could he take another shot next year? Absolutely. Based on his current trajectory, it's almost inevitable. And don't be surprised if next time, he's a real threat to advance. The gap is closing, and once momentum kicks in, everything changes. As for PGA Tour invites, if Charlie keeps trending like this, those conversations aren't just possible, they're coming. He might not be turning 18 next month. But let's not act like it's out of the question for Charlie Woods to break into the pro spotlight sooner than expected. He's got the name, the swing, the composure, and most importantly, the mindset. If tournament directors want viewership, they know exactly what a Charlie Woods tee time does to the broadcast numbers. Golf thrives on buzz, and Charlie brings exactly that kind of energy. But here's the real punchline we all need to consider. If this is what he's doing at 16, imagine what he'll look like at 20. The scary part, we won't have to wait long to find out. That question alone has fans buzzing, analysts debating, and rivals keeping a close eye on every move, whether he follows directly in his father's footsteps or forges an entirely new path. One thing's already certain, Charlie Woods is just getting started, and the rest of the golf world is officially on notice. So now we turn it to you. Is Charlie the heir to the Woods legacy, or is he writing a new chapter all his own? Let us know in the comments, because the next part of his story is coming fast.